My name is Linda Thompson. I'm 54 years old, and last month my world turned upside down when I found a letter my daughter Emma never meant for me to see. It was a Tuesday morning, the kind where the air smells like fresh coffee and the sunrise paints the kitchen in soft gold. I was cleaning Emma's old bedroom, a habit from years of keeping our small house tidy, when I found it, a folded piece of paper tucked under a stack of books on her desk. The words I read broke my heart and set me on a path I never thought I'd take. By 6 a.m., with the light just creeping through the curtains, I had a plan that would change everything. The letter was in Emma's neat handwriting, addressed to her best friend, Mia. "Mia, I can't stand living with Mom anymore," it began. My chest tightened, like someone had squeezed the air out of me. "She's always hovering, always asking where I'm going, what I'm doing. It's suffocating. And she's so clueless. She doesn't even notice we're using her savings to fund our startup. I told Jake we'll have enough by next month to move out and cut her off. She'll never know until it's too late." My hands trembled as I gripped the paper. Emma, my only child, the girl I'd raised alone through years of struggle, was stealing from me. The same daughter I'd worked 2 jobs for, the one I'd stayed up with all night when she had a fever, the one I'd cheered for at every school play and debate competition. She thought I was clueless? I felt like my heart had been ripped out, left bleeding on the floor. But the letter wasn't done. "Once we get the $10,000, Jake says we can make it look like Mom spent it herself. She's so scatterbrained, no one will question it. We'll be free, and she'll just have to figure it out. We're so close, Mia. Just a few more weeks, and we'll have the startup running and Mom out of our lives." I sank onto Emma's bed, the letter crumpling in my fist. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a calculated plan to leave me with nothing. The $10,000 was my emergency fund, money I'd saved over decades of waitressing and tutoring kids after school. I let Emma and her boyfriend Jake live with me rent-free to help them get back on their feet after she lost her job. I even gave them access to my bank account for groceries and bills. Now I knew why my savings were shrinking faster than they should. Every withdrawal, every "we needed gas, Mom," was a lie. They were draining me dry. And worse, they were planning to make it look like my fault. I've always been a soft-spoken woman, the kind who smiles through pain and puts others first. But I'm not weak. I've survived too much. Raising a child alone, working until my hands were raw, burying both my parents before I was 40. Emma thought I was naive, an easy target. She was about to learn her mother was stronger than she ever imagined. By the time the sun was fully up, I'd wipe my tears, put on my favorite blue dress, grab my purse, and headed out with a plan that would turn the tables. I wasn't just going to protect myself. I was going to teach Emma a lesson she'd carry for the rest of her life. The roots of our bond. To understand why this hurts so much, you need to know our story. I was 22 when I had Emma. Her father, Michael, was my high school sweetheart. We were young, in love, and planning a life together in our small town of Maplewood, Ohio. But when I told him I was pregnant, his face went pale. "I'm not ready for this, Linda," he said, packing a bag the next day. "I'll call you when I figure things out." He never did. His parents told me he'd moved to California for a better opportunity. I was left alone, 6 months pregnant with no degree and a pile of bills. My parents, bless their hearts, stepped in. Dad was a mechanic, Mom a seamstress, and they were barely scraping by, but they never let me feel alone. "Linda," Mom said, hugging me tight, "you and Emma are a team now. You'll make it work." Their love gave me strength,
but it was their sacrifices that kept us afloat. Mom sold her grandmother's silver locket to help pay for my prenatal care. Dad worked extra shifts to buy a crib. I promised myself I'd give Emma everything they gave me: love, security, a future.
When Emma was born, she was a tiny miracle. Big brown eyes, a giggle that melted my heart. I was 23, working as a waitress at Dolly's Diner, making $5 an hour plus tips. After my shifts, I'd tutor high school kids in math, earning a few extra bucks. Every cent went to Emma. Diapers, formula, little dresses I'd find on clearance. When she was 5, I'd walk her to kindergarten in my worn-out sneakers, making sure her backpack was packed with snacks and her shoes were shiny. She'd hug me at the school gate and say, "You're my hero, Mommy." Those words were my fuel, getting me through 16-hour days and nights when I cried from exhaustion. When Emma was 10, I saved for a year to buy her a bright red bike for her birthday. She rode it up and down our street, her ponytail bouncing, her smile brighter than the sun. "I'm gonna make you proud, Mom," she'd say, pedaling faster. I believed her. In high school, she was a star. Captain of the debate team, top of her class, always scribbling designs in her sketchbook. I worked extra shifts to pay for her SAT prep courses, even when my back ached from standing all day. "You're giving me a future," Emma told me the day she got into college. I cried, thinking all my sacrifices were worth it. College was a stretch. Emma got into a design school in Chicago with tuition that made my head spin. $20,000 a year. I was earning $30,000 working at the diner and tutoring. I took out a small loan and sold my old Honda to cover her first year. For 4 years, I sent every spare dollar to Emma. Books, art supplies, rent for her tiny apartment. I ate ramen for weeks to afford her portfolio software. When she graduated with a degree in graphic design, I was in the crowd cheering until my voice gave out. She hugged me, tears in her eyes, and said, "Mom, this is for both of us. I'm going to take care of you one day." I believed her. After college, Emma landed a job at a marketing firm in Chicago. She was designing ads, living her dream. We'd talk on the phone every Sunday, and she'd visit for holidays, bringing me little gifts, a scarf, a mug that said "Best Mom Ever." I was so proud. But last year, everything changed. Her company downsized, and Emma was laid off. She called me, her voice shaking. "Mom, I don't know what to do. Can I come home?" Of course I said yes. She was my daughter. She brought Jake, her boyfriend of 2 years, with her. I didn't love Jake. He was charming but slick, always talking about big ideas, but never holding a steady job. Still, I welcomed them both, thinking it was temporary. I gave them the guest room, cooked their meals, paid their phone bills. Emma said they were working on a startup, an app for artists to sell their designs. I was proud she was chasing her dreams, so I didn't question the money they borrowed. "Just for groceries, Mom. We'll pay you back when the app takes off." I trusted her. I gave them access to my bank account for emergencies. I wanted to believe they were trying, that they needed me. But the letter showed me the truth. They were using me, and they didn't care what it cost me. Looking back, I should have seen it coming. The signs were there, small at first, like cracks in a wall you don't notice until a whole house is crumbling.